Hello, and welcome to the Baba Yaga Project. This week, I wanted to share a bit from my life and talk about why we call ourselves the Baba Yaga Project. So come along, grab some tea or hot cocoa, and follow me through the week. Baba Yaga is a supernatural being in Slavic folklore. She appears in thousands of folk tales throughout Eastern Europe. She's an old woman who lives deep in the forest. Her house stands on chicken legs and is surrounded by a fence made of bones and skulls. She is a witch well practiced in the arcane arts and has many animal companions and familiars. She also has power over the dusk and dawn, who appear as riders on horses by her home. While these attributes remain relatively constant, her character changes and shifts across the tales. In some, she is a benevolent protectress and aids those in need, such as a young man looking for his missing bride. In others, she is a terrible monster who cannibalizes anyone unlucky enough to come across her. But in most cases, she is rather ambiguous. She will help passing travelers and people in need, but perhaps not in the way they wanted, or with a price that they did not expect. Andreas Johns summarizes Baba Yaga as, quote, a many-faceted figure capable of inspiring researchers to see her as a cloud, moon, death, winter, snake, bird, pelican, or earth goddess, totemic matriarchal ancestress, female initiator, mother, or archetypal image. We were fascinated by this folkloric figure and in how the stories of this woman have shifted and changed over time and space, yet remained recognizable as the same character. We chose to call ourselves the Baba Yaga Project because in our exploration of history and folklore, we want to explore all the hidden facets, the changing dynamics, and the ambiguity of rituals, traditions, and lifeways. On a lighter note, we also both liked the idea of living in a magical house in the woods, so the name is a bit aspirational as well. And even if I never actually go out and live in a cottage in the woods, that doesn't mean I can't have a bit of the cottagecore fantasy right here at home. As longtime listeners of the podcast might know, I grew up in a Ukrainian family and we celebrated Christmas Eve on January the 6th, following the Julian calendar. Because we lived in Canada, we celebrated December 25th with North American-style Christmas, like a roast turkey and Santa Claus. But January 6th was when we would follow the old family traditions, and that's what I'll be showing you now. This book belonged to my grandmother and contains not only recipes, but also gives details of folklore, rituals, and even some traditional gardening tips. She had other cookbooks and such that were written in Ukrainian, but I have to admit that it's much faster and easier for me to read the English version. Today, we'll be making Kutya, which is the most important dish for Christmas Eve. Kutya is made with 3 simple ingredients: wheat kernels or wheat berries, poppy seeds, and honey. It is an ancient dish, and there is evidence that it has been eaten as far back as the Neolithic period. The first step is to boil the wheat until it is very soft, usually for about 3 hours. Some say that the wheat symbolizes the cycle of life. Others say that it is a symbol for health and prosperity. While the wheat boils, the poppy seeds, which I have soaked in warm water for a few hours, have to be ground into a paste. The poppy seeds are supposed to represent the souls of our departed family members who we will welcome back for Christmas Eve. This seed grinder belonged to my great-grandmother, and I wanted to give it a try. It is a little chipped, but it still works. But an immersion blender is still much faster and easier, so let's use that instead. And now it is time to make the kutya. The wheat is cooked, the poppy seeds are ground down, and the honey is ready to go. First, I stir the poppy seeds into the wheat to get a good consistency, and then I add my honey. Honey can symbolize the sweetness of life and good news, but make sure to taste it as you go, so you know how sweet it's becoming. Once it is sweet enough for your liking, it's all done and ready to be transferred to a nicer bowl. The Kutya altogether symbolizes the coming together of generations, our past departed kin, the present family, and the future generations. And now we're all ready for Christmas Eve. The Christmas Eve meal, called the Sviata Večerya, cannot start until the first star appears in the sky. Once this happens, the candles in the window must be lit. Traditionally, this was to signal to passing travelers and strangers that they were welcome to come to the home for the meal. I don't think anyone will be passing my apartment's window anytime soon, but it serves as a reminder to show hospitality and generosity when we can. The table is all set and ready. While there will only be 3 of us sharing the meal this year, I have set a 4th place. It is traditional to set one more place for our deceased friends and family. This invites them to join in our celebration for the night. Kutya will be served at their place as a reminder of the connection between generations. And finally, the food is all ready. Thank you for coming along with me, and I hope you enjoyed this little bit of ritual and folklore. See you next time!